It's now time for us to resume work in a normal way. Now, are you ready? Are you ready to go back to work? Are you prepared for your job interview? Today I engage you. I will give you some tips about acing that interview. When you think of preparing yourself for interview, how do you prepare yourself? What do you term as preparedness? No, it is important for us to holistically prepare ourselves for an interview session, and know that when you attend the interview session, you are there to present what you have to offer, but also you are given the organization an opportunity to see you in person in order to make that determination. Are you prepared? Are you ready for your interview session? Now stick with me, don't go anywhere. Today we talk about how to prepare yourself to ace that interview. I'll be right back. Hi, welcome to Design to Inspire with your host, Sharleen Clarke Curah. Of course, today we continue to inspire, motivate, and engage our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Do remember to hit that subscribe button and also remember to comment, share, and like this video. Today I talk with you about interview, preparing yourself for that interview session. Usually, when you think about preparing yourself for an interview session, the first thing that comes to your mind is really to dress yourself, your deportment. But we're going to talk a little bit more than just how you attire yourself for an interview session. Now, when you're invited to an interview session, there are a number of things that you need to do before you attend that session. Well, the interview starts first with the application letter. Now, when you are writing your application letter, ensure that you provide clarity based on what you are applying for. Ensure that the application letter is properly addressed to the person or persons you desire to send the application to. We are currently in a technological age. Gone were the days when you could write an application letter and address it to sir or madam or sirs or to whom it may concern. What you need to do is call the organization. You know that an application, a job application letter is usually routed through the human resources department. So what you need to do is call the organization and ask for the name of the human resource manager, or you may ask whether or not the organization has what we want to call a recruitment manager. Once you get the name of the individual, then you ensure that you address your letter to the person who will receive this letter. All right? So do not write to whom it may concern, dear sir, dear madam. In addition, make sure your application letter is short and to the point. Right? So it starts with the application letter, the resume or the CV. A CV should not be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages long, right? Your resume should be short. So if you are an individual who have quite a number of years of experience in different areas, different fields, that's fine and that's great. However, do remember that the interview session is an opportunity to share the information as it relates to your experience. The resume is just to whet the appetite of the interviewer. Right? The person who is going to interview is to pique the person's interest and not to give them an epistle of all the experiences that you have. So an application letter should be short. Your resume or CV should be short. So let's say 2 pages at maximum, right? So when you move into 3, 4, 5 pages, the interviewer is going to lose interest. As a matter of fact, what is it that you're going to tell us when you, or tell the interviewer when you're invited to an interview session, right? So what you need to do is to summarize your experiences, starting with the most recent, right? For those that you would have had years ago, you leave those off the application and you use the opportunity of the interview meeting to communicate, to talk, to discuss those experiences that you would have left off your resume. One, ensure that you address the resume, the application letter rather. One, ensure that you address the application letter to the individual directly. So you state the name of the person within your application letter, just a phone call. And I did not say Google because remember that people change positions regularly. So last year it might have been Sharleen Clarke Curah, who is the recruitment manager. However, at this present moment, it is now Nadie, Sutherland, who is now the recruitment manager. However, that information would not have been updated on Google. So you want to just, a simple phone call to get the name of the individual and you send your application letter. Now, once you are invited to the interview session, you are responsible to ensure that you do some research on the organization. Yes, I hear you. Oftentimes we send out application letters because we are in need of a job and we send them out in droves, and that's fine. So you might send 10, 15, 20 organizations your application letter. So that's fine. However, once you receive that call of invitation, then it's your responsibility to research on the organization. Nothing is more distasteful, nothing is more discouraging than to hear an interviewee telling an interviewer, I know nothing about your organization. Now, if you don't know anything about my organization, why then do you want to work with me? Why then do you want to work for this particular organization? Know that there are questions that are going to be asked. Questions such as, how can you, what are your skills that you're going to take to the table? What are your expectations of us? Questions such as, why do you want to work for us? Now, when a question such as that is being asked, it's not necessarily, some people might say a question like that, why do you want to work for us, is trite. It's not trite. What the interviewer wants to gather from your response is whether or not you would have done some research as it pertains to the organization and what the organization is about, because only there and then you'll be able to tell the interviewer what you really expect from the organization. Now, if you know nothing about the organization, you cannot answer questions such as, why do you want to work for us? What do you expect from us? What are the skills that you're taking to the organization? And among other questions, right? Do know that it doesn't sit well with the interviewer when you sit in front of him or her and tell them, I'm sorry, I know nothing about your organization. Now, there is one thing that I forgot to mention about the application letter, and let me just reverse a little bit. When you're writing an application letter, do not write, dear sir or madam, I take this opportunity to apply for any position in your organization. Any position? Does it mean that you're a jack or Jill of all trade and master of all? I don't think so. Just picture a huge organization, and I'm going to use a hotel. Let's say use the hotel industry as an example, right? Because with the hotel you have the front desk department, you have the maintenance department, you have the spa department, you have the human resources department, you have the entertainment department, right? You have the kitchen department, you have the food and beverage department, and many others. Now, if you send a letter to a particular hotel to say, I therefore apply for any position available. Okay, so I have maintenance position available. I need a plumber. Are you able to work as a plumber? Or perhaps you can fill the position of the executive chef. Well, let's move on. Maybe you can fill the position of the hotel manager, perhaps the masseuse, or probably the human resources manager. Are you saying that you're able to fill any of these positions? I don't think so. When an interviewer reads an application as such, what it is saying to the interviewer is that you really do not hone a skill. You don't have a skill. You don't know what your skill is. You're still confused, or you're desperate for a job. It doesn't say to the interviewer that, wow, this person is very this is an individual who is capable, or this is an individual who has multiple skills. Let's put it that way. It's not saying that. What jumps out at the interviewer is that, oh, well, this person has no skill. Because if you are, an individual who knows exactly what you're about, when you write your application letter, state exactly what you want. And yes, I hear you. You're probably saying, well, I need a job and I have more than one skills. Fine, and that's good. But let's say you can work as a chef, but also you can work as an accountant. State it in the letter. I take this opportunity to apply for a position as chef, or perhaps an accounting clerk. That's much better, because what you're telling the interviewer now is that, listen, you have the skills to work as a chef. You have the skills to work as a chef, right? And also you have the skills to work as an accountant, as opposed to any position available. All right, so now that that is out of the way, so you prepare yourself by ensuring that you research on the organization. Now, some people will tell you that it is important to research on the organization because you want to ensure that it is legit. Yes, that too is important, because in this day and age, you want to ensure that when you're called, when you're invited to an interview session, it is a legitimate invitation, right? But also you want to ensure that you know a little bit about the organization to which you would have applied. I also want to say to you, do remember that your nonverbal language speaks loud, right? They talk to the interviewer, right? So ensure that your nonverbal cues, your body language, is also professional, right? Because that too is used to determine whether or not you're the right candidate. Now, viewers, you might or you may not, right? But I want to believe that you will agree that, listen, you might have the skills that the organization needs, right? Let's say you apply for the position of communication specialist. You're good with words. You can connect with people. You can connect with you can engage people. You communicate well, right? However, your attitude is just the opposite, right? Your attitude is just wrong. No, if you have the qualification, you have the skills, and you have the wrong attitude, you will not be able to keep that job because the organization will not want you, right? It is easy easier to train someone who has the right approach, the right attitude, to give them the skills training, rather than to take someone who has the skills and try to change their approach and attitude. That is hardest. So an interviewer will look for the non-verbal cues as well, the body language, and do know that, most times the interview session is all about attitude and personality. So you want to check on that. Also ensure that you have a balance. If it looks too much for you, then that's exactly what it is. And what do I mean by that? The way you put yourself together, to include your makeup for ladies, your dress code. Just be moderate about it, all right? I also want to add that prepare some questions, that you should prepare some questions to ask the organization. When you're asking questions, ask questions that will suggest that you're interested in the organization and in the position. So you might want to ask about the organization as it relates to perhaps the culture that exists there. You might want to ask questions as it relates to outreach programs that the organization might be a part of. Questions that would suggest that you have an interest in the organization. And also ask questions that would suggest that you have an interest in the position to which you would have applied. All right, and now I want to conclude. Yes, it's a very short video. I want to conclude with this. Do follow up, right? Do follow up. If it's always nice to say thank you, to send an email and say thank you for inviting me to the interview session. I'm not just ending it there. Thank you for your invitation today. I found it quite interesting when we discussed about the social outreach programs that you are part of. As a matter of fact, I have participated in programs like those where I've done this, and I hope I can bring this to your organization should I be selected. Right? It's a nice to do. It's a nice to do. But viewers, what I want to say to you is, when you are invited to an interview session, ensure that you are holistically prepared. It's not just about the visuals, but it's also about the mental, right? How you're going to engage in the conversation. All right? I hope you enjoyed this short video. I will upload another video because I want to speak to the gentlemen. We are losing our men. I want to speak to the gentlemen on how you prepare yourself and what you can do. But for now, this has been Designed to Inspire with your girl Sharleen Clarke Curah, where we continue to engage, motivate, and inspire our viewers. It has been my pleasure to share this very short video with you. If you have any comments, well, you should have comments. Please put your comments down below, ask your questions, and of course, share this video, subscribe, and let us motivate and encourage each other. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and see you again right here on the Designed to Inspire with me, yours truly. Be inspired.